Time is a comparison of any movement with another movement established as a standard, such as the movements of the hands of a clock, for example. The foundation of all reality is empty space. It is somewhat difficult to classify reality as real even though it has all this empty foundation. But it's the only one we have and the only one we'll ever have. If we say that only empty space exists, we are not wrong. On the other hand, trajectories in empty space always exist in a relative way. Absolute velocity does not exist because there is no absolute motion. Movement is a concept with only local and limited validity. The continuity of living beings, the explanation of the existence of movements which are the basis of all physics and which are always relative, requires and demonstrates that empty space is a continuous, unique, united, cohesive way, perfectly interconnected and not formed by micro pieces of space that are individual, separate, or independent. It is impossible to explain the existence of motions in the hypothesis of considering empty space as a discrete or discontinuous way. The existence of movements, which are always relative, reveals and explains what empty space is like. For everything we have seen about how physics works, about how the universe exists, we have reached an important conclusion about the existence of living beings. The way physics works locally at any place or time in the universe has never been different from what it is today, and never will be. The general principles of physics functioning, the laws of physics, the statistics that always dominate the functioning of physics, have always been and will always be the same as they are today for the entire eternity of the universe. From the way physics works locally, we can know that the universe as a whole never had an absolute beginning, and will never be destroyed in an absolute way. Destruction and initiation are two completely relative concepts that can only exist and function locally. The eternity of the universe as a whole, the always the same functioning of the principles or statistics of physics, takes another eternity. The eternity of living beings. All living beings are objects of physics. All living beings are always subject to the principles and operating statistics of physics. Since physics is always the same everywhere and at all times in the universe, since physics always works in the same repetitive way, all living beings also always repeat themselves in exact copies for all eternity. The life cycles of all individual living things, ascension, growth, death, are truly cyclical, with no absolute beginning and end. They are eternal cycles with no absolute beginning or end in time, endless. Since the workings of the principles and statistics of physics are always the same as they are at every place and time in the universe, the continuous life cycle of each and every individual living being is birth, growth, death, growth, death, etc. The only possible way for the universe to be eternal in time, and it is when all physical events and phenomena repeat themselves infinitely in exact copies in the same way. It is impossible for the universe to be eternal in time without any physical phenomenon repeating itself perfectly, in perfect, exact copies. It is impossible for the universe to be eternal in time, and it is, and for all events, phenomena, living beings and other objects of physics to be unique, individual, non-repeatable. Since the functioning of the principles and statistics of physics are always the same throughout the universe and time and place, the universe being eternal in time, no living being is in fact individual or unique. All individuals are always perfect copies of themselves. Each and every living being has infinite other copies perfectly equal to itself at some other time in the universe. Why then is every living being always itself, and not another perfect copy of itself elsewhere in the universe? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and give your like if you enjoy it.